what I'm doing here is feeling the contrast between a smooth surface and a rough surface on this ceramic pot. Contrast is the principle of design that helps give us a little bit of excitement in our painting. The opposite of contrast would be sameness, and sameness leads to boredom. So when we want works of art to be exciting, we have to have some sort of contrast. In a painting like Paul Cézanne's still life, the artist used a great many kinds of contrast. For example, to make it exciting, he used contrast between plain areas with no pattern and areas that have lots of pattern. He has contrast between edges that are hard and crisp and edges that are very soft and almost disappear. He contrasts very dark values with very light values. He contrasts intense colors, bright yellows and reds, with very neutralized colors that are very gray. He contrasts warm temperatures in many places with cool temperatures, gray, green, and blue. He contrasts textured areas, like all of this cloth in the background here, with non-textured areas, like the surface of the table. He contrasts geometric shapes, like the edges of the table, with very organic shapes of the fruit and vegetables. He contrasts large shapes and very large shapes like this back here, and large negative shapes with very small shapes. So he has all of those contrasts, 8 of them altogether, probably more in here, but all of those contrasts help make that painting very, very interesting. One way that you can really begin to understand contrast is to work with a chart that really shows contrast. For example, I started one here, and we're going to keep working on that now, that shows intense color, very bright right the way it comes out of the bottle, and then neutralized with a complementary color. You can show dark value of the same color and light value. You can show edges that are soft, you can paint them that way, edges that are hard. You can paint these larger, cut them out, and then put them on the chart. We have an area that has no pattern. These are all of Cézanne's contrast, and we have area that is patterned. Now we can find things in magazines. For example, we have cool temperature and warm temperature contrast. I cut some pages out of a magazine that show warm temperatures and those that show cool temperatures. We can check areas that are textured and non-textured. This is a textured and a non-textured area. We can do ones with areas with geometric shapes. Put those in a little collage and mount those on there on the chart. Or we can make them with organic shapes. So we cut pieces that are not geometric. We can make a little collage out of organic shape. And then we can contrast large and small. And we can put some large shapes in here. And see, we can put big shapes on one side to show large shapes. And then we can put confetti-like pieces on the other side. This is something that makes a big mess, but it also emphasizes the fact that there are the difference between large shapes and small shapes. And then you have a chart that has 8 different kinds of contrasts on it. And if you understand these contrasts, then you're able to put them in your paintings and make your paintings more interesting. They certainly will not be boring or the same if you continue to use all these kinds of contrasts.